Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Have you heard of loud budgeting? It is the latest personal finance trend taking over the internet.
Loud budgeting is a new concept I'm introducing for 2024.
I want to hear if you are doing loud budgeting this year.
I'm so glad that loud budgeting is trending for 2024 because I feel like I grew up with really good money values that have slowly drifted away with earning a higher income, consumerism, and TikTok. So if you haven't heard, there is a new concept called loud budgeting, and it's almost more chic, more cool to be frugal than it is to be spending money on things that you don't actually need.
And I have to say, I absolutely love it. Well, now that I know what it is, because quite honestly, I had to Google it. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this younger generation keeps coming up with new names for age-old tactics. So what is loud budgeting? Well, depending on who you ask, it's living below your means. It's paying yourself first. It's creating a budget and actually sticking to it. It's avoiding lifestyle creep and saying no to consumerism. It's making budgeting cool. And most importantly, it's being willing to talk about your finances and your expenses. And seriously, nothing makes me happier to find out that budgeting is now cool and saving money is actually chic, because that means I'm one step closer to being cool. And loud budgeting is so much better than the previous TikTok trend I spoke about, which was soft savings. And soft saving was deliberately having a low or almost no savings rate today, rather focusing on spending on expenses and enjoying today rather than saving for your future. And not to say that you should save absolutely every penny and every dollar that you make. Of course, you want to have some fun built in today, enjoy today, but you also want to save for your future, because I feel like not saving just punishes your future self. We live in a culture where the long-term savings rate is consistently around 2, 3, or 4%. And with a savings rate like this, you're unlikely to ever make it to reach your financial goals like retirement or financial independence. Yes, it's important to make sure that you enjoy the money you work so hard for today, but I feel like deliberately not saving or saving very little for your future self does yourself a disservice. It keeps you on that hamster wheel and living paycheck to paycheck. Loud budgeting is literally the opposite of that. It's practicing good financial habits, and even better yet, sharing those good financial habits with the world. So much of our lives are online these days, whether you're using Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever platform. Online, you get to see everyone's highlight reel. You see their best moments, their best purchases. You see the person they truly aspire to be. You don't see them in those real, raw, everyday moments. People don't talk about the mundane online because, quite frankly, it's boring. When's the last time you posted a picture with your credit card statement and said, paid off in full this month? Rather, you probably posted a picture of the vacation you took and put on that credit card. I think being willing to talk about your finances does a great service to everyone. For yourself on a personal level, it keeps you accountable, it keeps you on track. For those around you, it could be educational and it could be inspirational. I always like the attitude of like attracts like. I would rather have these young 20-somethings watch short clips about people who are talking about living within their means and setting aside a small portion for investments every single month, rather than talking about their latest shoe or handbag purchase. And it's not just 20-somethings. There's no age limit to finances. You can bet I'm out there watching finance-related content and reading books and trying to stay educated, and it serves as a reminder to stay the course. Because when your journey with finance is 30, 40, 50, 60 years long, you need some reminders along the way. For so long, talking about finances was really a taboo topic. And it's really important to note that you can talk about finances without getting into the nitty-gritty details. You can talk about the percentage that you're setting aside for savings, or you can talk about setting up a 529 for your kiddos, or the fact that you're utilizing tax-advantaged accounts, like maybe a Roth. But you don't have to disclose your salary or these account balances, but you can talk about the concepts. Loud budgeting is getting vocal about your goals with the people in your life. If you're constantly being invited to dinners that are out of your price range, you simply say, I'm sorry, it's not in the budget. Or say you get invited on a weekend getaway and you can't afford it. You say, I can't afford it, or it's not in the plan right now. It's not a statement of judgment, it's a statement of fact. It's having these pragmatic conversations. Really, it's being an advocate for yourself. One thing I really love that social media has done is that it's normalized talking about money. It's really sort of leveled the playing field by making so much information accessible, and it's really opened this dialogue. And I think women especially have benefited from this. Because how many times have we we heard about the gender gap when it comes to wages and investments. But when it comes to younger generations, women are actually making great strides when it comes to their investments. And I think a lot of this has to do with the way we've talked to girls and boys and men and women about money in general. Specifically, and even in the recent past, when we talk to girls and women, we're often telling them about budgeting and watching their spending and making sure to use coupons and buy things on sale. All of these are addressing the expenses side of the equation. But then when we talk to men, we say you've got to work on growing your income and you've got to invest for the future. Both of these are important sides of the equation, but there's a limit to the number of cuts you can make to your expenses. There's no limit to how you can grow your income or how you can grow your investments. I think we really did women a disservice by solely focusing on this one side of the conversation for so long. And I definitely think things have improved for sure, but I think this attitude still kind of prevails in some subsets. So I definitely think there's room for improvement. Take a moment and look at some of the largest personal finance YouTube channels out there. Look at the ones that are female run and look at the ones that are male run. You'll see that this dialogue continues. The female ones often focus on budgeting and cutting your expenses, whereas those male channels are often focusing on growing your income and investing for your future. When it comes to loud budgeting, proponents really emphasize getting down into the nitty-gritty details of your budget. It's about getting ruthless with your budget cuts, not looking at a line item and being like, well, maybe I could cut back here or maybe I could live without this. Just cut it out entirely, even for a short period. See if you miss it. You can always add it back later if you find that you do. Let's create a challenge. What's one line item you could totally eliminate from your budget and see if it has an impact? Would it be meal delivery service? Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's nights out and exchanging them for fun nights in with your friends. What's one thing you would consider? Notably, loud budgeting is having an impact. An NAB bank survey found Australians under the age of 30 are saving an average of 450 Australian dollars or about 300 American dollars every single month by embracing the TikTok financial trends like loud budgeting and no spend months. In the past couple of years, so many of us have really felt that pinch because inflation is causing the prices of practically everything around us to increase. I know my husband and I recently went out for burgers, and for 2 burgers, that's it, the bill was over $40. My jaw almost fell off when we got that bill. I couldn't believe it. And then on top of inflation causing in prices to rise everywhere, we have companies that are adding little service charges to everything we do. You use a meal delivery service, there's a service charge. You buy concert tickets, service charge. You stay in an Airbnb, there's a service charge and a cleaning fee. You stay in a hotel, there's a resort fee. All of these little fees add up. A big part of loud budgeting is making sure that you're paying yourself first. And no matter what phase of life you're in, whether you're loud budgeting or quiet budgeting or just budgeting, I think everyone should be paying themselves first. What it means to pay yourself first is the minute your paycheck hits your account, you have an automatic withdrawal set up, taking a set amount or a percentage and directing it towards your short-term goals, like a savings account, or your investments, those long-term goals. And maybe you do both because likely you have both short and long-term goals that you're saving for. And it's best to automate this so you don't have to remind yourself to go in there and do it. It's just done automatically. Choose some percentage, like say 15%, that is automatically taken out and goes toward your investments, those long-term goals. Or if you work for an employer who offers an employer-sponsored retirement plan, maybe that money is taken out before that paycheck even hits your account. But then you also want to choose another percentage, maybe 5% or so, that gets directed to a savings account for those short-term goals. After that, any money left over in your account is yours to do whatever you wish with. The whole point is to take care of your needs first. Don't have the attitude of, I'll address all my expenses first and then I'll just invest and save whatever's left over. If you do that, you might find that there's not anything left over at the end of the month. Your financial security, your financial future is not optional. Don't put it on the back burner. Take care of your needs first and then address every other line item in the budget. I honestly think it's harder than ever to keep lifestyle creep in check. We've always had social pressures and the idea of keeping up with those proverbial Joneses. But today, with social media, I feel like it's thrust more in our face than ever. You not only see what's happening in your neighbor's life, like what they're driving, what they're buying, what vacation they're taking, but you see people from all across the globe and people from every socioeconomic status. No matter who you are, there will always be someone who makes more money or drives a nicer car or lives in a nicer home. It's impossible to keep up with everyone on the internet, especially considering so many people are actually faking what they have on the internet. And while lifestyle creep gets a bad rap, I don't think it's wholeheartedly bad. As I hone in on 40, I can say that I don't have any interest in living the same lifestyle I had when I was 20. When I was 20, I lived like a broke college kid, which was amazing at the time and allowed me to save a lot of money. But after 2 decades of working, I want a nicer lifestyle. I think lifestyle creep is perfectly fine as long as you keep it in check. Let's say you get a 10% raise. Maybe you split that raise 50-50. You increase your contributions towards your investments by 5%, and the other 5% goes to increasing your lifestyle a little bit. That way, no matter what your income level, you're always increasing your investments a little bit. So you're always making sure to live within your means, but you are elevating your lifestyle just ever so slightly. I think the biggest takeaway from loud budgeting is you kind of want to put on social blinders. You want to ignore whatever everyone else around you is doing and focus on yourself and your financial situation. Because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing with their money. What matters is what you're doing with your money. Are you working to increase your skill set so you can increase your income? Are you aggressively paying down high interest debt? Are you saving and investing in a way that'll get you to your financial freedom number when you want to get there? Do you even know what your financial freedom number is? If you can answer yes to these questions, you're working towards putting yourself in a better financial position. So are you going to be giving the loud budgeting trend a try? Honestly, I feel like I've been loud budgeting my whole life, so I'm totally fine with this trend and I hope it sticks around for a while. Let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.